In 1904, Mathina was the third largest town in Tasmania with a population of over 5,000 people. Now it's under 200. The average tourist driving up the street would not know that. So it's only because when they come into the gallery and look at the history, they realise what a booming town Mathina was.
It seemed to have become a haven of cheap accommodation and for unemployed people because this is where they could afford to live on what they had.
We had so many sawmills. We had over 20 mines in the area as well as the sawmills. There were 7 pubs, 3 churches, a barber shop, butcher shop, and now there's not much left.
Just having a cuppa and, I just started talking about how this old building was in Mathina falling down and, the council were going to sell it just to pay the rates on the property. And wouldn't it be great if we just went in there and done it up a little bit, paid the outstanding rates, done it up a little bit and turned it into an art gallery?
Well, we just sort of went and asked people, would they support the idea? We made up a suggestion pamphlet and nearly 90% of the township signed it, saying that they would support a gallery in the area.
I inquired around it. I went down to the council that was in Fingal at the time and went in and asked them how we'd go about setting something like that up. And they put us on to Neil Butterworth, who was a business enterprise facilitator in St Helens. And we rang him and he said, oh great. I told him a little bit about the idea and he said, oh great, I'll come up and see you next week.
In a remote community like this, it was more than just business assistance, it's helping communities at the same time, and it was pretty much focused, the fact that there was very limited work here, and the community group themselves, this is what they wanted to do, create their own work through their own artistic talents.
We had a little bit of a look at the property and we rang up the council and asked them if they'd be interested in selling it to us, and they said yes, definitely, because they wanted the problem gone.
My enthusiasm dropped immediately because we were looking at a broken down old shed virtually, no floor, and I thought, how are we ever going to get this to go?
The block of land was going to cost us $2,000. Did a bit of fundraising. We had a fair, a community fair, and that went pretty well. We raised probably about $500, and so we just slowly topped it up until we had enough to buy the property.
The regional partnership funds was, I believe, was $26,000 that they were looking to achieve, and that was the monies required to construct the building. The community were getting donations of building materials and they were volunteering all their own work.
The deal we made with them in the grant was if you supply the materials, we'll supply the labour. So it was like a 50-50 deal, and the 3 guys out the back are the ones that built it. So, and we all helped do a little bit here and there, the girls did a bit of painting. And
people are very enthused at the beginning, but that enthusiasm wanes as you see all these bureaucratic bridges come in amongst them. But look, no matter what bridge there was, the community group just overcame it and got on with it, just dealt with it as it was.
We'd been rejected for 1 grant, so we thought, well, we're just going to have to scrounge up what we can and build it how we can. And then we'd already started pulling down the building, and that when we got the letter saying that, we'd received $26,000 in funding for new materials, and we were just absolutely wrapped.
Originally, the community thought they owned it, but it was in those days purchased on the back of an envelope, which legally didn't hold up, and that was one of the major hurdles we had to overcome, and that took the best part of 12 to 18 months.
Once we got the deed and title, we thought, we can at least knock it down, scavenge some materials, make a good pile, make a bad burn pile.
First of all, Neil said he looked into it, it cost $9.10 to become a cooperative, and we had absolutely nothing at the time, 0 cents, $0. So we thought, well, if all of us in the group put in a small amount like $2.50 we decided on, which wouldn't break anyone, $2.50 a week, it was $37.50 a week for 15 members.
There's no difficulty in forming a cooperative, and in fact the cooperative is the right structure because it's owned by the people. If you form another type of incorporation body, then you have presidents and secretaries and treasurers.
In the beginning, we had probably about 10 people in the start, and at the time the rules of the cooperative society were you had to have 15 members. So off we went again, and I got my mum involved, and and went around to everyone asking, please become a member and help us get this thing going.
Just the wording, because they use a lot of long words, don't they? And just certain rules that you had to follow, like the AGMs and nomination forms and things like that. So, but now it's just natural.
The amount of help that the community have required since the beginning has waned a lot, because they're now standing on their own feet.
We're trying to get new members. We want more people involved all the time, but we take in any sort of art and craft from the area. There's heaps of talented people in the area. And
we're all proud, because it's that sense of ownership too, I think, helps. It's not, and not every day is the same, which I think broadens everybody's spirit, I suppose.
Also a lot of fun as well, and we all find something to do in there, and yeah. Now we've got the internet and that on too, that's opened up a whole new other thing for us.
The work that this community's done has given them strength and given them a path to follow, I think, and from that the town seems to be prospering a little bit from it, so it'll go on from greater things.
It gives everyone a sense of ownership when we're in here on their day. Like when I'm in here, it's mine because I'm here that day.
Because none of us really knew much about computers or anything, and now we've all got our own email address, and we're with it now. Yeah. It sort of opens up our world a lot to what it was before, and I've noticed with a lot of the other members, and myself especially, I've got a lot more confidence in pursuing my own goals and that than what I had before. So, and a lot of them will have things to do with the gallery. The
co-op itself guided the community to the goal, because we let the community know that we weren't going anywhere. We were going to do this, we were going to stick to it at the end. Some people in the community said, "I will give you 3 months," and 2 years we're still here.